I'm jumping back, going into a deep squat, which puts me in a position where. So today, um, so reflecting on the last couple of workouts, the workout yesterday was an upper body day, kind of. Yeah, it was all upper body. And then the days before that were 3 straight steel mace kind of workouts, steel mace and kettlebell style workouts. So between the last 4 workouts, there really hasn't been too much, I guess, what would be considered heavier load or heavy load on my body. And so today is a day for me to do that. And that's kind of the idea behind how I structure my workouts is I compare it to what I've done the past couple of days and then do whatever I haven't done in a while the next day. So today it's going to be mostly sled circuits, and um, I'm a big fan of using the sled as the tool by which to experience heavy loads with, because in my opinion it's the exercise with the least amount of risk for while being able to handle heavy volume or heavy loads. So on the sled, if the weight's too heavy, the worst thing that can happen is the weight doesn't move. However, on other exercises like bench, squat, deadlift, when you miss a lift, the risk for injury is a lot higher. So yeah, starting off with reverse sled and forward sled, and I'll progressively go heavier as the workout goes on. Then supersetting, it's going to be a circuit. So the second exercise in the circuit is kettlebell swings with the 28 kg 62 pound kettlebell. Going for 10. Keeping the heart rate high while having a resistance element. And then finally, rotated standing kettlebell presses. So as I press, I'm going to rotate my body in the opposite side of the hand that's pressing, which recruits the obliques while pressing. So getting a little bit of core. Well, all of these movements involve core, but this exaggerates it. Going for 10 each side of that. And so this is the first circuit, gonna do 5 of it, and then on to something else. So for the next set of exercises, actually before that, I started the workout off with 20 minutes of backward walking and also some warm up on the single hand lat pull down machine. Just thought I'd throw that in there to, I guess, give an overall of what's actually going on here. So I started off with that, did the previous circuit. Before the previous circuit, I was just like doing some stuff to warm up. But so for the next set of exercises, starting off with single arm sled rows. but I'm not going to try and be overly strict with it. Like, I'm not trying to exclusively pull with my lats. As I drag it, I'm going to kind of jump back, get into a deep squat, and use that force or generated through the falling back squat to do to transfer it into the row. So going to alternate one side. So looks like this. So I'm jumping back, going into a deep squat, which puts me in a position where I can use my legs along with my lats to bring the weight back. And then going to drag it back the other way. So I have the TRX handles on the opposite side. I'm gonna hold them both behind me and drag it forward. Oh, so if you notice, there's 5 plates on there, plus whatever the sled weighs. So for the whole duration of what I just did, my body gets to experience that weight for a really long time. So I do get that. So I get that heavy stimulus. For the next exercise, doing alternate kettlebell swing to snatch. The kettlebell weighs 62 pounds, 28 kilos. Going for 3 each side. Then, so that's 3 snatches. Then I'm going to use 2 35-pound kettlebells to do a complex. So a 2-handed swing, a high pull, double snatch, swing, a high pull, snatch, swing, a high pull, snatch. Oh, 3 of that too. So yeah, by the end of this circuit, you've handled a lot of weight with your entire body, getting a lot of resistance training in, and my heart rate's at like 173. So really pushing the upper limits of the heart rate. So getting that sort of benefit, getting a lot of high weight volume. And yeah, I'm gonna do this for 5 sets. So for the next set of exercises, it's definitely a little over the top. But I wanted to kind of finish off with something really difficult. So going to do backward sled drag while having the barbell on my shoulders. So looks like this. So getting it to shoulder, and then gonna drag the sled back with it on my shoulder. And then once I get to the end, I'm gonna do 5 squats. Then going to move it ahead. Keeping it in a position to drag it ahead, and then same drill. And finishing off with 5 squats. Then finishing off the circuit with alternate staggered kettlebell swings for 5 each side. Oh, so yeah, going to do 3 sets of that, and that'll be it. I'm gonna head to the sauna after, and then do an outro. So today's workout was mostly sled based stuff, using the sled to experience really heavy loads. Um, it's so a lot of my workouts have like steel mason kettlebell flow, but it's also important to experience really heavy weights. And traditionally, most people achieve that by squats, deadlifts, and bench press. But those lifts, although good, have a much greater risk to reward, I would say, for increasing resistance. But with the sled, you can go really heavy, and the worst that can happen is the sled won't move. So reducing the likelihood of injury by a lot. You can still get injured on the sled if you overdo it, or do something with extremely terrible form, but it's highly unlikely. Which is why the sled is my preferred tool by which I let my body experience heavy load. That doesn't mean I'm opposed to heavy back squats or anything. I just don't find the necessity for exposing myself to that risk, um, especially when in day-to-day life, very rarely do I ever carry anything on my shoulder or stuff like that. I'm usually holding something or moving forward. Like if I'm dragging something or carrying something, it's usually on the side. It's usually like on a backpack, all of which are uh, much different than a barbell on your back, I would say. So I don't necessarily see the necessity to train having something heavy on your shoulders all the time. So for example, I did the back squats while dragging the sled, so I still get my shoulder load, but I don't necessarily have as much risk as doing like a heavy back squat. That's just my personal opinion. I don't I'm not opposed to anybody doing what they want to do. Just personally, my body doesn't feel the best when doing a lot of regular back squats and deadlifts. I still do a lot of squats, just not back squats. I still do a lot of deadlifts, just not regular barbell deadlifts. But yeah, throughout the workout, kept my heart rate really high. I'm pretty sure the average heart rate was around 130 or so, but during the set it would often get up to like 170, mid to high 170s, or usually around mid 170s, not really high 170s. Then sat in the sauna for 20 minutes where I did a lot of mobility, and now here we are. Gonna do a quick physique check. I need to run a little bit more. Um, the kind of look that the body has, in my opinion, when doing a lot of, so like there is sprints and running long distance are two different things. The kind of look that the body gets when doing a little bit of long distance running along with sprints is a lot different than just doing one or the other. I think doing sprints kind of gives you sort of a powerful look, and then I think that running long distance kind of shrinks and tightens it all down. And right now, I feel like I have somewhat of that powerful look, but not necessarily the shrunk up, like lines popping everywhere look, which I think I can get with doing more long distance runs. And by long distance runs, I mean like 4 miles, which is around 6K. But yeah, not looking too bad. So yeah, that's it for today's video. See you all tomorrow.